Hey everyone, I'm taking a look at a game called Relativity. I'm here with the developer Willie Cheer.
Hey all.
So instead of me just running around by myself, he's going to talk to me a little bit. I played this beginning part, so I'll just run through it real quick. And the basic idea of this game is kind of similar to a game called Standpoint that I just played with recently, where we can look at a wall and change gravity. Or is that an accurate way to describe it?
Yeah, basically there are 6 gravity fields in this world, and you're just switching on and off different gravities. There's only one that's on at a time. So right now we're in the blue gravity, and back there you kind of like walked onto the orange gravity field.
Right, so there's also this kind of like MC Escher, it kind of shows up in the screenshots that you've had on the site, this kind of MC Escher feeling where we're going through portals and stuff, which we're going to see in a minute here.
Yeah.
So how did you get started with this idea?
Well, this was actually I started it as a way to learn Unity, and it's kind of based on a lot of the ideas are based on this the MC Escher drawing of the same name, Relativity.
Mm-hmm.
I had this first prototype, showed it to some people, and they thought it was, pretty interesting premise. So I just kind of continued with it, and here I am 15 months later.
Your basic project to learn Unity was basically the most complicated thing I could possibly think of.
Well, it was much easier back then, and it didn't seem as complicated.
Well, that's always how the best things start. Is it seemed like a simple idea. Looking back, I realized it wasn't.
Right.
So this is the first really interesting puzzle that I found. So I have to get this block up to. Let's run over here. It's weird how quickly I took to this. It just feels very natural. So I have to get that block over to here, but I can only pick that block up when we're in the orange gravity field, as you called it, right?
Right.
So I have to kind of like, I don't know if there's a better way to do this, but I was just kind of dropping this up onto steps. And then kind of working my way up there. Is there a quicker way, or is that the way?
No, this is the intended way, because like basically in this level I'm trying to teach the player that different color objects are associated with the different gravity fields, and you can only use them when you're in that gravity field. And the reason why there's like 3 layers of it as opposed to one is because I used to just have one in the first iteration, but it was very easy for the player to just like accidentally put the block up there and not without knowing what they did. So here I like try to make sure that they got that idea.
Yeah, it definitely worked for me. I like that I can stand on the ceiling and kind of show off this room from a different angle here.
And it's funny that you used the word ceiling, right? Because it was like,
yeah, because
it was the floor when you were standing. Like,
well, this happened to me actually. This is when I came through the level. I was actually wondering about that. When I came out here, I guess I was going this way. But anyway, I came through here and I'm like, oh, there's this staircase here, but it's also just this weird hallway. So when you're designing these levels, do you design them with one gravity field in mind to start at least?
No, I try to design, like all the architecture in the game I try to not base it on existing genres of architecture. Mm-hmm. I try to like see what kind of architecture would a world where there are 6 gravity fields, what would it be like? Like I try to let the architecture emerge organically from the physics. So that's so it kind of like so I try not to be biased towards one because in a world like that there would be sort of like all encompassing.
Right. So that seems like a bit of a challenge. Are you designing them all yourself?
Yeah, it's actually a bit of a nightmare designing them because you have to like, after you design it in one gravity field, you got to make sure that it works in all 5 of the others. And then it kind of causes a lot of problems with optimization because you can't, because a lot of games they just have the top face and they hide all the stuff that you can't see. But
but you have to see everything.
Here, you anything you see you can land on, so I need to make sure everything is real.
And then you have these portals also, right? Is that just mostly a way to navigate the world?
Yeah. It's both like a way to navigate a world and both from a practical standpoint of saving controlling like how many, right, because I mentioned about the optimization problem. This is
Right.
like a way just to split up some of the assets. Like every time you go through a portal, I turn off all the stuff that was before, so you're
right.
not, yeah.
So are you just working by yourself right now? Do you have anyone testing with you or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm just working by myself at this point. I haven't done playtesting in a while. Indiecade was the first time I've done it since in like 4 months.
Oh my god.
Just because there was so much new content that was being added.
So this is definitely where we see the crazy architecture. Is this where I was before?
No. That's a new place you're going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. I love this.
Yeah, and you'll notice like that's water there. That
Right.
they also kind of belong in 4 different gravity fields, and there's not too much you can do with it now, but that's going to become a huge factor in the final version of the game.
Okay. What happens if I jump off here? Oh, I did.
You'll just
I didn't mean
you'll
to
just
do it.
respawn.
Okay.
There's no problem.
Actually,
It's really cool when you look at it as you're falling.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Yeah, I noticed in the other room, I forgot to show it, but there are these windows and you could actually see the outside. I didn't realize I was actually going to go outside. So you said you have the level editor. You want to jump ahead to show us something?
Actually, this is kind of cool. Let's go downstairs.
Okay.
So you gotta
make stairs.
no. This will come up. It's still a little rough. But actually, this space that you're about to go into is sort of one that's more. These are light posts.
Okay.
Bit of a design issue there with the things kind of looking like the boxes you can pick
before,
up. Yeah. But this is sort of like what I call a large indoor space.
Mm-hmm.
That you'll see. It's like very. Has a lot of those Escher elements, and is something I would like to have a lot of in the final release.
So, in speaking of the final release, where I asked you this earlier, this is an alpha, but there's a lot of different kinds of alphas these days. So you're pretty far off, right? You said you have like a year.
A year and a half. There's still. I've been because I'm doing everything on my own. Like when I'm working on development, I can't work on the art.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's just a lot of polish that needs to get done. Actually, let's go back that way. There's something really fun.
Over here?
Yeah, that's sort of where the next level is and has the next puzzle. It's actually really hard giving directions in this game because it's like take the first right, then the second up, and then go down.
Yeah, you have to like remember which color is which.
Yeah, and so that's the portal. You're kind of looking at the back of it, but this has the first puzzle where you're using both gravities to accomplish one goal.
Something about portals just never gets old. It never gets old seeing that like other world open up inside there.
So there's no shelf here, but there's the blue box to sort of help you kind of get that green platform up. For the reason why that was happening just now was because there was something behind you.
Right, yeah. I can't turn myself that way. All right, so I got to move this. This is not. I don't know. I'm being put on the spot in here.
Yeah, no worries. So like we got this. So there's no shelf here, but we got the blue box, which kind of acts as whenever you can move it while you're on blue and put it anywhere. And but when you go back to green, it freezes and becomes a shelf.
Right.
So if we think about like where you would like a shelf to be, exactly.
All right, so I can get this up here. There we go.
And so now your problem is just like, how can I get the green box? And you're sort of back into the green gravity.
I did it. I figured it out. I got scared, but then it was okay. All right, so now I got to get over there.
And this is something, this like switch mechanic that you're doing right now, where you press down a button. This is actually going to get changed.
Oh, really? To what?
Well, actually, I just realized I didn't need it because it's sort of right now a way. The earliest version of this game was very linear. Like every time you solve the puzzle, I just teleported you to the next one. But now I'm sort of making an open world where you can backtrack. And so I implemented the system as a temporary fix. So I know, like, okay, the player learned this technique. Right. And I can now let him go to another door. But I actually realized sort of I can sort of accomplish the same goal simply through structuring of the architecture.
So I have two kind of random technical questions I noticed. One I noticed you can't switch straight to the ceiling and flip all around. Right. Is there a reason for that?
Well, because it's like, imagine if you were kind of walking around here. The reason why the rotation works is you're sort of is that you walk up to a wall and you take that first step up against the wall, right?
Right.
It's like to allow the player. So right behind you now, you've accessed that door. But it's like if you were to do that 180, it'd be like you standing there and you bring your leg up to where your head is,
right,
and like completely flip over.
Okay.
Which just wouldn't make sense.
So it's not a technical reason. It's more of just a kind of making it all make sense.
It's making it all make sense, and also from a level and puzzle design standpoint, that as soon as you allow for that, it gives you too much freedom. Like because of in this game, locomotion is not a problem. Like, you can go anywhere.
Right.
And so in order to kind of actually create some challenges that are meaningful, you got to have these constraints in place. So like if you just go straight.
So this is actually my next question, which is, can I do this?
Oh, these are lights. Yeah.
No, I know, but I can use it to. Oh no, I thought because it has this face, so I thought maybe I could get to the other.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That one is too small. You kind of need like that was like a 0.25 unit, and you needed at least 0.5 unit.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really love this space just because they're sort of like you're starting to get a sense of like that really Escher-esque.
Architecture, yeah.
Yeah. So
this is my other question: is you fall very slowly. It's very floaty. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yes. It's because I don't want it to be about execution. Like,
okay. So kind of like that Portal idea of like, once you figure out what to do, it's pretty easy to do it.
Right. Because it's not Mirror's Edge.
Right.
So here you just fell into the water,
right.
which I haven't
okay.
sort of figured out what to do.
I wasn't sure if that was just some kind of magical water that turned into a portal. Okay, so where was that?
It was kind of like actually on the
up there,
yeah.
Yeah, that's that problem. Like it's up on the not the ceiling, the red one or the green one. All right, so we jumped ahead into a different level here, and Willie's playing now, so that we don't have to wait for me to figure things out.
So in this puzzle, what we need to do is we need to get this blue cube across the gap. Because that's the square is up there, but you'll see that this gap is too big. Like every time I go up,
there's no jump button in this game.
There's no jump, so I just keep falling. However, we'll notice that in the yellow gravity, we've got a yellow cube, and here we can place it on anywhere in the wall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place it right here in the middle, and then coming down, we can grab the blue cube, and now we've got that yellow cube serving as a shelf, so we can like temporarily place that there, and then of course navigation for us is no problem, so then we can just get ourselves to the other side and then reach over, grab the blue cube, and solve the puzzle. So this is another puzzle. This is one of my favorites. You can see there's some problems with the light mapping. It's a very early version. Again, okay, I'll go back up here so that we can get a better view of what we need to do. We need to get this blue cube up onto that platform.
Again, it's really convenient to be able to go walk onto the opposite wall, which I improperly called the ceiling, but is just the red wall.
Yeah.
And just kind of see the whole puzzle.
And so you'll see like, okay, when we're here, we can't reach it. It's just too high. But instead we've got this yellow cube, and it's really funny because people will be like, hey, what about those stairs that lead nowhere, because they're on blue, and they're like, those stairs don't go anywhere, and then they flip over to yellow and they're like, oh, never mind, they go up the platform. So what we do here is we take this yellow cube up and we place it right here, and now when we go up here, we have got
these other stairs that lead nowhere.
Yeah, we have the stairs that lead nowhere again, but we've got a slight ledge coming out. Slight ledge, sorry. We can place the blue cube on it. And here we're going to switch back to yellow. And this is really great, sort of like an extension of the laws that gravities become inactive when you're not on them. When we take away the yellow cube, the blue is still floating in midair. So we can place the yellow cube on there. And now when we go back to blue, the cube's going to fall because nothing was holding it up. But we've got yellow floating in the air, slightly higher. So now we can kind of go up and place the blue cube on top. And I think now we're in a position. So now as long as we don't go back, we don't want to go back to yellow because then our the thing that's holding the blue one will drop, but coming up to this ledge, then we manage to get the blue cube close enough, and that allows us to solve our puzzle.
Cool. And
I call it the Jerry Maguire puzzle because of the line "Help me, help you."
Okay, so that's been Relativity, and Willie was just showing me a video that isn't ready to release yet, but shows off a lot more of the mechanics, and there is a whole lot more crazy stuff that happens in this game. As you can see, there's a lot of crazy architecture. There's a lot of big things that you can move, more than just little cubes. There's water and rivers and all kinds of craziness. So the game looks really interesting. I can't wait to see it, and thanks for coming and showing it off, Willie.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So if you don't know anything about Standpoint, it is a game that is being developed, and this is the main mechanic here where you can kind of flip gravity around, and that's pretty nifty. So